All right, guys, welcome back. And today is the day to do the reverse leveling kit on the Yukon. So I got basically just going to take out 2 inches of gap on that, on the back side. Front side's not too bad, but I don't want to go too low with it. I don't want to have the issues with you know, just potholes and stuff like that. So I'm going to leave that front the way it is and just take 2 inches out of the back rake. And after the measurements, I'll show you guys. So on the back, it's just under, if you can see that, it's just under 37 3/4. It's tough to see with this camera. Just under, in between 37 and 37 3/4. And on the front, it is just above 35, which should be a little, basically about a 1/2 inch left in the back, just a little bit of a 1/2 inch rake in the back, which is fine, but just to take this 2 inches of that gap out. And here's the kit. Comes with 2 lowering springs, 2 basically shock relocation brackets, and then these guys. These are the little arms for the Magna Ride adjustment, because it does have the Magna Ride, which is like an auto air ride in the shocks. So these, the changing the height of these will make sure it's at the correct height to meet the 2 inch drop. So I got the jack under there already, got stands. So I'm going to set it up on the stands and then we'll lower it down. I was going to try to do it with the wheels on, but I might just take them off just so I can see better and just get a better understanding of what's going on in there without them in the way. So let me take those off as well. Alright, got both sides, the wheels are off, it's on the stands. So I'm going to loosen up. First I got to do is pop off these little rods. And it says just to use like a little pry tool. So let's see how easy they pop off without breaking anything. Alright, there's one. Bottom. And then top. It's basically like just little balls with little ends, little hole ends, rod ends, I guess they call it. So these are the old ones, all rusted up. So I'm going to put these by the new ones. Very nice. I want to do like a before and after measurement, just to make sure that I'm at the right height. This one off. Okay. The top one pulls right off once the bottom one's off. And so next up is taking the shock bolts out in the back, and those are a 13/16. So I'm going to take both of those out, and then I will I'll lower it down and see how easy it is to get the springs out. Should just come right out once the shock bolts are out, but let's do that now. All right, so the new springs are in. Make sure you use the isolators that come with the original shocks and put them on the new, on the springs. So the springs that are in there are gonna have an isolator top and bottom. Make sure you use those and then, slide them back in there. Now before hooking the shock mount, the shock back up to the rear, they come with these brackets. And you see how they're like this side has a little bit of an angle on it. This is for the, you'll see, it's pretty much self-explanatory. This one is for the passenger side. And then on the driver's side, it's basically the opposite, where the slanted side is on this. So you'll see how it lines up. It's pretty much self-explanatory. But these go on there, and these connect to the old shock bolts, the shock mount, and then the new shock is, the shock's gonna go onto this new one a little bit further down to push the rear up. All right, so let's get to that. And I'm gonna set up a light because it looks like it's real dark under there, so hopefully you guys could see what I just did with the springs. I'm gonna put a light in there now. All right. All right, so those brackets are installed. And basically they give you 3 bolts. I'll show you. There we go. So 1 and then 2 on the top. And then if you could see down in here in the back, there's 1 more. It's tough to see. There it is in the back. So those 3, and then the shock is gonna go here with the existing, the factory shock bolt that was in it. So they give you a total of 6 bolts, 3 for each bracket. So that side's done too. And I'm gonna put the shocks in now and let it down. It's actually, I gotta put the shocks in and then put those little rod ends back in. So let's do that. Oh yeah, so these are the new, basically take these caps off the old ones and thread them onto the new rod that they give you and bottom them out. If you want to go for a 2-inch lowering kit, which is what I want, it's in the instructions where I guess you could do 3 and 4-inch lowering kit as well, which then you have to cut down these rods, etc. But we're not going that crazy. So I'm going to get these set up. And then I'm going to put the wheels on it and lower it back down. So stand by. All right, let's lower it down. See what it does. Definitely lowered it a little bit. I think once I turn it on, and then it'll auto adjust. You hear it doing something with the air, and looks like that's going to be the final height. It definitely looks mint. Looks a lot better. Basically almost exact as the front. Just a little bit slight rake in the back. Yeah, it looks good. Let me get that tape measure. Alright, so earlier it was 37 3/4. And now it looks like it's just about 36. So that's 1 3/4. Let's double check the front again. Front is 35 1/4. 35 1/4. That's gonna be tough to focus, but it's 35 1/4. And then this is exactly 36. Let's see if I can get that to 36 exactly. So it was an inch and 3/4 drop. So I'm wondering if I may have to do a little bit of adjustment with those rod ends. So it's exactly, so it's 3/4 of an inch higher in the back than the front right now. But it definitely looks a lot better. Looks almost just a slight rake in the back, but not too high like it was. But I'm wondering if I mess with that adjustment on those rod ends. I should also check the other side, check this side, just to see what the actual measurement is. Because it is, yeah, it's almost exact. This one is a little bit. This is about 36 1/4 on this side. All in all, pretty ideal situation here. Definitely looks a lot better. I'm also, what I should do is take it for a ride and see if that changes, because it might change with the ride. Let me do that. I'll get back to you guys. Ride's just as smooth as when it was stock height. No more bumpy or anything like that. Really a nice ride. Pretty impressed, considering 2 inches lowered, and it's just as comfortable. Let's check out, see if it did anything with the ride height. So after the ride, like I said, it rode really good. Happy about it. The ride height did not change much. So what I'm going to do is, the driver's side is about 1/4 of an inch higher than the passenger. So I'm just going to take out those little rod end pieces and try to adjust that one, put it back in, see if it, and then to see if it at least levels out the back. I'm not going to go too crazy. I think if I wanted to, I could drop the backs more by making those rod ends like shorter. But I don't know, I kind of like the way it is. A little bit raked, about 3/4 of an inch higher in the back than the front, which I'm happy about, because I'm also going to get the 2 front struts replaced next week. So I don't know if that's going to change what the front height is going to be. I mean, it shouldn't, but I don't know. So I'm going to leave it as is, finish up this back one, and then that'll be it. Until I do another adjustment once the new struts are in. Alright guys, so that's it. I was able to adjust the back, and they're basically at the exact same height now. But as you can tell, it looks a lot better. Definitely leveled compared to that big gap that was in the back. So pretty close, about a little over 1/2 inch higher in the back. But overall looks great. And not bad. The kit is from MaxTrac. I'll put a link in the description so you got it. But definitely looking good. And I don't know, I feel it was like under $200 or something like that. And took about 1.5 hours, 2 hours, including the drive time and like the readjustment. So definitely recommend it. Stay tuned for more stuff. I got some more stuff coming. Thanks guys.